Today, I'm going to be trying the most expensive tracks in MX Bikes. We're going to be seeing why these tracks are so expensive, if they're worth the money you're paying, or if it's just a complete scam. This is going to be a good video, so let's check out the most expensive tracks in MX Bikes. Alright, the first track we got here is Pipe Dream by Huron MX. This track comes in at $3.50. You might think that's a lot, you might think that's not a lot at all, you might think that's super cheap, but in a game like MX Bikes where there's hundreds, potentially thousands of free tracks, why would you pay money for a track, right? So $3.50 is kind of a lot for a track, considering that for one there is a ton of free tracks, but also on MX Bikes shop, which is the paid mods website, you're usually paying about $1 to $2 per track, and that's like pretty standard for every track. So anything above $3 you kind of have to double check and make sure you really want it. Also on MX Bikes shop you can only deposit $10, $20, $30 increments of 10 basically, so you couldn't just spend $3 out of your bank account. You're gonna have to put $10 into your MX Bikes shop account and then get the track. So if you're paying for expensive tracks like this, with each deposit you're only going to get to maybe 3 tracks, but if you're buying $1 tracks you could deposit $10 and get 10 tracks. So with that explanation out of the way, let's get into this map right here. So Pipe Dream by Huron MX. First off, Huron MX is a really well-respected track creator in the MX Bikes community. He makes amazing tracks, and basically if you see his name, you know you're going to be getting a good track. And this map here actually has 2 motocross tracks, 1 supercross track, and 1 pit bike track. So you're not only paying for one thing, you're basically getting a whole compound for that $3.50. But are the tracks actually any good? Well, right now I'm on the second MX track. I think it's the smaller one. They're about the same size, but these tracks flow really nicely. And if you notice, you can just see the textures look great. If you play MX Bikes a lot and download free tracks, you'll notice that most of them just look terrible. This one, you can obviously tell it has ruts, it has dirt, it just looks good. You want to keep spinning laps on it. The flow is really good on these tracks. It's not the best. You're not going to be like throwing huge whips or going really fast. These tracks are pretty challenging, which I think also makes it worth the money, because you're going to be on these more, you're going to be learning and getting better at the game just over time playing these tracks. So yes, these tracks are good, they do flow, they look amazing, and that's pretty much what you're going to notice when you pay for an MX Bikes track. It's rare that you buy a track and it looks bad. It does happen, there are some times, but it's not often. This motocross track and the other one flow super good. They have huge jumps and they're just great for spinning laps. A little challenging, and you'll notice that in some Huron MX tracks, but it's a great track, good to learn on. A little bit challenging, but definitely worth it. In the supercross track, I mean, I'm horrible at supercross, but it's pretty easy, and that's coming from me. So this is a great supercross track to learn on, I think, and it's pretty small. For me, I think it was perfect, and it's pretty fun to spin laps on. So there's nothing too crazy or unique about it, but obviously it's made really well. All the jumps flow perfectly, and it's a good track, looks good. Not much more to say about that, honestly. If you're looking for a good, simple supercross track, here it is. The last track on this map is the pit bike track. The fact that this place even has a pit bike track is awesome. You don't see it much, but when you do, they're really fun to rip around on. This one might be my favorite in the entire game. This thing is literally perfection. The track just flows so well, and every jump is so well made that you can just ride the pit bike like a normal bike and it hits every jump perfectly. You're not going to overshoot anything, you're not going to case anything. This might be the best pit bike track in MX Bikes. I spent a lot of time ripping laps on this thing. Right here you got a little FMX ramp off to the left, or you can hit this line. So tons of options for a pit bike track, and this thing just flows super well, looks nice. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a good pit bike track, you might not want to spend the money, but this is just a great added bonus when you buy this track. Another bonus about this track is it has a road. Now, why would that be a bonus? Well, for wheelies, of course. Not every track has a road like this, and you usually have to download a specific map to be able to wheelie, but the fact that this has motocross, supercross, a pit bike track, and a road to wheelie on, pretty much an all-in-one compound right here. So if you like wheeling and you want to get good, this road is perfect for it. It's straight, has good traction, and it's just another plus to buying this track. So what do we think? Is this map worth $3.50? I would say yes. You get 2 motocross tracks, a supercross track, a pit bike track, and a road to wheelie on. Can't really beat that. And just the quality of the track, the flow, it's a great bang for your buck, honestly. Now, is the next track we're checking out gonna be worth more than this? Let's find out. Alright boys, the next track we are on is Goat Farm. So this is a replica track of a real life training facility, and it's $4 on MxBikes shop. So 50 cents more, that'll get you a gumball. But this track is made by JV. He is also a super well-known creator. He makes great tracks. I mean, if you see his name, you know the track's going to be a banger. So this track is super fun. It has 1 MX track, 2 supercross tracks, and a pit bike track. It also has a turn track kind of style thing off in the corner. Don't know if we'll get to that today, but it's a nice touch. First thing you'll notice about this track is it looks insane. I love the red tinted dirt on this track. Like, I just love how this track looks. I would say it looks better than the last track we were on, just because it's a bit more bright and the colors pop a little more. It's built super well. This MX track here just flows super well. Honestly, I wouldn't say it's my favorite track in the game, but it's definitely up there. I've spent a lot of time running laps on this track. Not going too fast right now just because I'm trying to get a clean full lap in, but this is a super fast track. You can set some good times on this, and it just looks so good. Like, all the trees around, the bright sky, everything on this track just looks amazing. The supercross tracks are not my favorite. I know I just said I like the red dirt, but it's a little too much on here where you can almost not really make out the jumps. So the looks, they don't really look too good. They're not that fun. They're pretty flat for the most part. They don't really have any huge jumps. Super easy though. So if you're new to supercross like me, this is a pretty good beginner track to kind of get started on. But I definitely don't think these are a main attraction of the map. I think it's more of just a fun thing to do on the side. They still look pretty good, but they just look super flat and texture is a little off. But I mean, for what they are, you still get them, and it's a nice little add-on to also go alongside with the MX track. The second supercross track is a little more fun in my opinion, and it does look a lot better. So still kind of flat, the corners are pretty flat. I know it is a replica track, so I don't think there was really much room to make it anything more. But again, super simple track, it's easy, and it's fun. This one does look better, and this one's kind of more in the center, surrounded by, you can see the motocross track there on the right. So I do like this one better, and I don't think you would buy this track specifically to play this supercross, but it is nice to have, and it's a good option if you're tired of running the motocross track. You can come over here and spin some laps. And what about the pit bike track? So this pit bike track is super short, but it's really fun. It's a quick track, not too many obstacles. You can almost hold it open, just pinning it the entire time, and it works. So this track's really fun, but there's not much to it, you know. As in the last track, there was tunnels and FMX ramps and berms. This one's kind of more just open and flat, but it's still fun. You can get some burners on it, and I definitely do think it's a nice touch to the map and gets extra points for sure. Okay, so is the Goat Farm worth $4? Yes. I mean, I think every track we try in this video is going to be worth the money. It's a super fun track. I wouldn't buy it just for the supercross, just for the pit bike. Honestly, I would buy it just to play the MX track. It's a super fun track, and I would pay just for that, honestly. So if you're thinking about picking up a nice, fun, fast track with multiple options, this is definitely a good one. The last map we're going to be checking out today is JV MX Park. This is another one by JV and Reaper Doc and about 20 other people. So a lot of big names went into making this track, and this thing costs $4 on MxB shop. So it's the same price as the Goat Farm, but is it better? Let's take a look. So if you buy this track, you're going to be getting 2 Supercross tracks, 1 sand track, 1 outdoor MX track, an enduro trail that goes around the entire map, and 1 enduro track. So that's $4 for almost 6 tracks, all in one right here. You're not going to find that for free anywhere. Starting off here with the motocross track, this thing is insanely fun and it just looks great. I mean, you're in the woods, it's classic dark dirt track, the textures are amazing. I don't even know how they make these things, but this track is super fun. It's also really challenging, as you'll probably see here. I case a lot of the jumps and it just takes a lot of speed to get around this track. It's a pretty rough track, but it's honestly super fun that I've spun a bunch of laps on this track, and every time I feel like I'm actively getting better at the game. Not a lot of tracks can do that. If they're too easy, then you get bored quick. If they're too hard, then you just don't even want to try. But this one is a perfect balance of both. You got big jumps, deep ruts, good corners, good berms. Super fun to just rip around this track and try to beat your past time. So even this motocross track probably took a very long time to perfect and make, and there's a ton of different line options here, a ton of different things you can do, and this is just one of those motocross tracks that I think people are going to be riding for a long time. So we know that the MX track is good, but let's go check out some other tracks on this map and see if they are worth the money. So like I said before, I am not good at Supercross, and this track did not make it any easier. This is a kind of fantasy Supercross track, so it's not super realistic, but it's very fun. It's just super hard. I mean, if you play the game a lot and you play Supercross a lot, you might be good, but like, look at this. I literally just rode over that jump. This was the cleanest lap I could get, and honestly, I did feel myself getting better and better each time, but I know I'm still just not great at Supercross. The track flows pretty well though for my skill level and what I was able to do on it. I did have fun. I definitely want to keep practicing on this track, keep going until I can get clean, consistent lap, but it looks great, obviously. All the jumps work if you can hit them, if you have the speed to hit them, and it's a super fun track. Like I said, every track on this map is going to be fun, but this one's nice. The other Supercross track is more realistic and kind of more on par with what you would usually find on MxBikes. I mean, it was fun for me, yeah. I guess I don't really play Supercross a lot, so I don't even really know what to say about this track. I mean, it's not going to make me keep coming back. It's fun. I feel like you could spin some laps here. It's definitely good learning. I feel like every time I did a lap, I was getting better and better and just learning more kind of how to play Supercross in the game and how to control the bike. So pretty good track. I don't think it's anything special or over the top, but it's included when you buy the map, so that's always a plus. And in case you forgot, this map does have a sand track. So usually I do not like sand tracks. They're just always super rough and slow. But this one's actually pretty fun. It's definitely challenging, which again, this is a great place to like train and get better. But it does get to you. If you're not that great at the game, this will make you a little mad. That kind of gives you more motivation to keep going and try to get a cleaner lap. So for being a sand track hater, this one actually surprised me. It's super fun, very well made, obviously looks great, and I could probably do a whole video on each track in this map, but this map is just huge, so just trying to get as much in here as we can. And yeah, the fact that this map has a sand track as well as MX and Enduro and Supercross, and they're all great, is just, it's crazy. So this sand track surprised me. It's super fun and challenging, but definitely worth the time to get some laps on it and get good. This map also has an enduro cross track that I have not tried yet, so this is going to be my first lap around that. Let's see how we do. I never play enduro on this, so this is going to be interesting. So far so good. Doesn't look that challenging if I just go slow. Okay, made it over the logs, onto the rocks now. Where am I? Okay, pop back down here. Not too shabby. Oh! Oh, back into the rocks. Back into the rocks. Need to get turned around. This is not good. Okay. Oh shit. I'm high centered on a log. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of fun. Shit. Huge case. Okay, where am I supposed to go? Yep, looks like this way. Drop off that ledge, pop up over that log into a mud pit. I don't know what physics they used for that mud, but you actually can't really move in it, so that's pretty cool. Up over the rocks one last time, and that's a lap. This map also has a highway on it with actual moving cars. Now, when I first saw this, I was super excited. I was like, that's going to make for great wheelie clips, and I've just never seen traffic in MxBikes. Sadly though, whatever they used for the texture of the road or material, you really can't wheelie. It might just be the bike. I've tested a few different bikes and they just slip out. You can't really get it up into a wheelie, and even when you can, when you hit the brakes, it just slides out. So unlike the Pipe Dream by Her and MX, which had great wheelies and great grip, this one you just slide around a lot. It's pretty cool still that you can ride in the highway and swerve cars, swerve traffic, but I would just love to be able to wheelie this. I don't know if they could change that, but it's cool enough that they added a road, so extra points for that. So obviously JV MX Park is well worth the money. If you're thinking about buying an expensive park, I think this is the one to go for. It has options for everybody, and it's just a great all-around park to train on and practice. Let me know down in the comments if you would pay $3 or $4 for any of these tracks and which track looks the most fun to you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.